300 years after the Great Cataclysm, Mana ran completely wild and demon tribes began appearing. They poured in like uninvited invaders, launching a century-long war that devastated everything. Human populations completely nosedived as the world fell apart around them. Then 10 legendary elites awakened. Using massive magic, they finally fought back. They built a massive wall to block the demons, buying humanity some precious temporary safety. After that, humanity began awakening to all sorts of wild combat professions. Instead of filing boring job applications, turning 18 meant getting a magical class. Those original 10 professions remain the ultimate pillars of human society. And only a single person could hold each of those legendary slots at once. Today, the big day is finally here, high stakes, pure chaos. Every young hopeful gathers to take their mandatory awakening test. Potential classes range from common N-rank bottom feeders, all the way up to legendary R-rank powerhouses. The rarer your class, the more insane your power, wallet size, and status. It is a pretty brutal cycle, absolutely no shortcuts for these kids. They pray frantically to ancestral gods, hoping for a high-tier combat class. Some beg the spirits of ancient berserkers to grant them at least an SR rank. Everyone is desperate to get ahead, but our boy Fang is just looking to cash in. He spots a few nervous candidates waiting right outside the mana testing portal. Slithering over like a shady street dealer, he quietly offers one of them a tomato. This is no ordinary garden fruit. Wait until you see what it actually does. See, Fang is a spirit plant doctor growing veggies with insane stat buffs. He has got hunger-busting sweet potatoes that keep a person full for an entire day. Not to mention fat-burning slimming cucumbers that would make top models absolutely lose their minds. He even has raw potatoes that boost physical attack power by 10%. The crowd is highly skeptical, whispering about whether this random kid is just a dirty scammer. To prove it, Fang hands over a freebie. One bite and his energy explodes. Power floods the candidate's body, and Fang just smiles, highly satisfied with that reaction. Suddenly, a greedy buyer tries to purchase his entire stock right on the spot. Realizing supply is incredibly limited, the crowd loses it, begging for those mana-boosting treats. But Fang just grins. He is a high-level, elite spirit lord farmer. After hitting max level, cultivating these overpowered, buff-yielding crops became second nature to him. Let's be real, his organic products deliver results that are 100% genuine. Later, a merchant places a massive bulk order, totaling a whopping 257 gold coins. Fang gladly pockets the heavy gold. He desperately needs cash to purchase premium soil fertilizers anyway. The merchant curiously asks why Fang does not just scale up his production. Fang playfully flicks him, pointing out that growing high-grade spiritual crops is no walk in the park. The merchant sighs, calling it a total tragedy. Fang was a certified child prodigy back in the day. He was destined for greatness, but now just a glorified dirt digger. Fang just coughs. He tells him to run home to his mommy, who is probably waiting for him. A childhood genius, now he is stuck with a measly N-rank class. He honestly feels like apologizing to his late father, who was a legendary, strict druid. Too bad the old man is dead and would probably crawl out of his grave to beat him. Fang wonders if he somehow inherited the absolute worst genetic combination from both of his parents. His mother was a brilliant herbalist and his father a high-tier druid, leaving him stuck in the middle. But honestly, he does not care. He is totally happy tending his fields. He grew insane crops that turned him into an absolute beast, yet he still keeps his free will. Even if he does it all for his mom, he runs the farm incredibly well, but he has no clue that his peaceful daily life is about to get flipped upside down. A man suddenly crashes down right in front of him, falling straight from the sky and screaming into a microphone. Warning that the professional necromancer has completely gone rogue. He is planning to sell out his powers to the demon tribe. Fang realizes he is seeing something he should not as a portal rips open. In the sky, and a terrifying figure wrapped in absolute darkness steps through. Jinwoo has arrived, though forbidden magic has left him completely drained of mana and undead minions. Then he spots Fang trying to quietly slip away. With a cruel laugh, he grabs our boy by the throat, asking if he honestly believed he could escape. He even demands that Fang offer up his own flesh and blood to construct a grave. For the messenger he just slaughtered, Fang definitely did not want to deal with this psycho. During a simple vegetable run, He forces himself to stay calm, desperately searching for a weapon. Anything to fight this monster off. That is when he remembers his unique ability. He can summon a simple farming sickle. He manifests the tool and slams it hard against the villain's skull. The monster stumbles back, shocked that a mere farmer could hurt him. Right then, Fang snatches the strange musical weapon the dead messenger dropped. He fires a massive energy blast that hits the enemy head-on. This devastating strike severely wounds the necromancer. Desperate, the villain opens fresh portals, forming a dark magical array to start a forbidden ritual. He fires a body-swapping beam straight at Fang to hijack his physical form. He notices Fang has a weak profession, but his raw talent is incredible. Facing his end, Fang only smiles. He has been pushing his body to the limit every single day since childhood. But if this monster truly wants to steal his physical vessel, then he is welcome to try. The villain invades his flesh, and Fang smiles. They are both going down tonight. He snatches up a sharp spear and drives it straight into his own chest, choosing mutual destruction over letting a dark force take over his physical form. Dark energy consumes him. He closes his eyes as a strange, quiet peace washes over his battered body. Suddenly, a massive surge of pure mana erupts in his chest. Inside him, the trapped necromancer begins to panic, wondering why this kid's mana is exploding. The violent energy turns into physical threads, binding and slowly absorbing him. A glowing system window announces he has successfully acquired a new class. The class is Necromancer. Opening his eyes, Fang is shocked to find he is still breathing and fully in control of his own physical form. Checking his status screen, his level has been completely reset to level 1, but his base attributes remain untouched. The real shocker is his class. He is no longer just a simple spirit farmer. Looking closer at the screen, it confirms his brand new destiny. Even at level 1, he gets to keep his insane high-level stats as a master farmer. He realizes his mana capacity skyrocketed by absorbing that evil soul. This means he can level up from scratch and completely shatter his old limits. His eyes drift to a brand new skill, undead summoning. He can actually raise skeletons instead of growing cabbage. Green energy begins to pool in his left hand, while dark purple energy starts to spark and gather in his right. He decides to slam them together to see what kind of chaos he can unleash. Together, the dark undead mana fuses with his farming energy, fracturing his entire skill tree. It keeps merging until it mutates into a total chimera. Fang still cannot believe his luck. The parasite that tried taking over his body actually held a legendary legacy class. He looks down cautiously at the corpse lying at his feet, the dead necromancer. Time to give this guy a taste of his own medicine, even though this power feels incredibly strange. If he doesn't tame this force quickly, it might consume him. Not only is his career on the line, but he could get swallowed whole by the dead man's lingering soul. He decides to test his luck, ordering the dead necromancer to rise. Instantly, the dead mage and his victim rise up as powerful zombie soldiers. Their levels got reset to 1, but they kept all their terrifying active skills. With the enforcement squad closing in fast, Fang knows he has to run. No one would believe his story. Revealing his mutated powers would only get him locked up. He would end up in a high-security prison for life. His immediate goal now is finding a safe haven with solid defense, good resources, and high-grade soil. He needs a quiet spot to test these dark abilities and prove his father right. A day later, he finally makes it back to the family plot. But even after 24 hours, the dark energy is still rewriting his class. This wild class mutation is officially his permanent reality. Fang begins experimenting with crops, channeling the dark energy into ordinary seeds. The first sprout mutates instantly, twisting into a horrifying, aggressive monster. It literally snatches birds straight out of the sky. Fang is completely stunned. What in the Plants vs. Zombies is this? If anyone sees this thing, they will assume a demon invasion started. He quickly rips it out of the dirt. Even the seed sack is packed with a nasty, pitch-black dark energy. It smells like a trash heap. He wonders how his innocent job mutated this badly. But if he can master this freakish power, he could dominate the agricultural world. He will become the absolute king of farmers and grow custom, high-grade crops. These special plants can actually boost a person's stats and level them up. He checks the daily news and finds the headlines absolutely blowing up. The necromancer apparently staged a violent rebellion and murdered a high-ranking official. The Empire orders citizens to report any sightings of the rogue mage immediately. Anyone caught helping him will face the exact same execution charge. Fang knows he is completely done for if anyone detects his dark magic. He looks down at his rusty farming tools, his only real companions. He also needs to rename his undead summons to hide their true identity. A brilliant idea strikes him: why not pretend they are just farm hands? Since his class is a spirit farmlord, growing spiritual crops is his specialty. Having a few loyal assistants in the field is actually completely normal. Next, the news reports on the growing threat from the demon tribe. To counter this, the local academy is expanding enrollment for new students. They are offering private quarters and highly fertile land for cultivation. They are also providing special subsidies. Talk about the perfect opportunity. He decides to use the school's high-grade land to fund his crazy dreams. He will cultivate experimental crops that are straight out of a horror movie. All he must do is hide his dark secret. Easier said than done. Fang finally reaches the testing center, where the registrar demands his name, age, and profession. He hands over his details, proudly declaring himself a level 1 spirit farm lord. The examiner's face instantly drops: a spirit farm lord and a level 1 at that. A lowly farmer is the absolute last thing this prestigious academy wants on its campus. It is the exact same look you get when presenting a useless degree at a high-end job. Hoping to change his mind, Fang channels his green energy to show off his power. Instead of being impressed, the interviewer looks completely disgusted, like he is staring at garbage. He calls it a garbage peasant aura, telling Fang to get out of the line. Under the cold stare of the crowd, Fang demands a real shot. But Fang stands his ground, arguing that his class is rare and just needs a chance. The instructor just scoffs: trash is trash no matter his foundation. He calls for security, but Fang is not going down easily. He reminds the man that every single applicant has a right to the exam. If this bitter examiner denies him his turn, Fang promises to report him to the bureau. The instructor grinds his teeth, calling him a cheap peasant who will regret mentioning the bureau. He vows revenge. The examiner fumes. Everyone nearby holds their breath, wondering if the official is about to completely lose his mind. Finally, the man roars: if he wants to fail the hard way, so be it. Go take the test. Fang is sent through a portal where his trial is simple: hunt down the rabbits. But these are fast. Luckily, Fang knows a thing or two about what makes a rabbit tick. He grabs some carrot powder and sprinkles it around. A cute little bunny hops over, then total destruction. His 2 undead servants do not hesitate to strike, but waiting around by a tree stump is slow. Fang decides to speed things up, ordering his summons to sweep the entire zone with brute force. It is basically pure passive income. Fang just sits back and relaxes while his minions grind away. His skeletal warriors handle all the heavy lifting. Before long, the exam timer finally runs out. Back at the portal, the instructor expects Fang to walk out empty-handed. Instead, Fang just smirks, opening up a portal to dump a massive pile of rabbits right there. He casually asks if this counts as a passing grade. The instructor is utterly speechless. He is questioning his life. Bringing back 500 rabbits is just completely impossible. No way a peasant farmer did this. He cheated. But then a voice suddenly interrupts. The academy director steps in, telling the examiner to stop throwing a tantrum. He sarcastically asks if the man has better things to worry about, like saving his failing marriage. He points out that the examiner is just mad his own pet test rabbits got absolutely wrecked. The director officially declares that Fang passed, and Fang bows in respect. Suddenly, the older man squints, sensing a very familiar energy from him. Fang tenses up, worried his secret is out. Then the director asks about his connection to Lin. Fang lets out a quiet sigh of relief. It seems his true class remains hidden. He admits that the late Professor Lin was actually his father. The director beams. That practically makes him Fang's own uncle. Lin was a dear old friend, so he offers to pull some strings for the upcoming enrollment. Just as he makes the offer, a gorgeous woman walks in wearing a sharp smirk. She teasingly reminds the director that everyone can hear him offering blatant nepotism. He just laughs it off, turning back to tell Fang that they have some business. Once the official registration is complete, he promises they will catch up properly inside the academy walls. He warns him to pay a visit, then vanishes into a cloud of smoke. Right then, the gorgeous examiner struts out with a ridiculously tight dress that barely leaves anything to the imagination. She smiles warmly, instructing everyone who survived the preliminary round to follow her closely while kindly telling the failed applicants not to lose hope. Later on, a man from the bureau tries to hunt down the necromancer. Their agent has been murdered, his body completely gone. Maybe the targets ended up killing one another, but there is a chance someone inherited the class. He tells the squad they need to hunt down anyone with that forbidden ability to finally solve this case. Of course, the others just mock Tuka, warning him to drop the wild conspiracies and calm down. But Tuka shouts back he knows he is right and will find undeniable proof to make them regret doubting him. As he storms off, the team debates holding him back. He is connected to the Duke, so they have to tread carefully. The chief arrives with a cold warning: if they locate the necromancer, they must execute him immediately. When someone asks what if the guy is already dead, the chief snaps that whoever wields that cursed power is going to taste his lid. After all, a necromancer can easily steal another body to hide. Later, the gorgeous instructor explains the rules of the next phase. The test is simple: every recruit must clear a level 5 special dungeon outside the gates within 3 hours. Panic immediately spreads since most of them are barely stronger than a fragile glass window, facing a terrifying boss with that tight 3-hour limit seems like a total suicide run. Seeing their despair, the examiner takes pity on these rookies and allows them to form groups. The maximum size is capped at 5 people. Naturally, everyone scrambles to partner up with the strongest candidates around. Meanwhile, Fang realizes he has to go completely solo. Just then, a girl approaches and introduces herself as a level 7 magic class user. She was highly impressed by his test scores and figured he could easily handle the horned rabbits. She suggests teaming up, but Fang merely narrows his eyes. A level 7 player is incredibly strong, meaning there is no way he can hide his secret skills. He politely declines, stating he prefers working alone. She simply smiles, wishing him a successful run. A bit later, Fang approaches the curvy examiner, declaring his plan to enter solo. She warns him that going alone is incredibly risky, but adds that clearing it solo rewards him with a rare shadow bear core. This prize will grant him a massive boost, provided he survives. Fang just flashes a confident grin and thanks her for the advice. When the group finally reaches the massive portal, everyone prepares to enter. Fang steps forward and tells the instructors he is heading in solo. They warn him that a level 5 zone is far too lethal for a rookie of his rank. Why is everyone always doubting this guy? Fang quietly reminds them that the rules explicitly permit solo entry and his mind is made up. Though impressed by his sheer confidence, they advise him to fall back if things get too dangerous. Stepping through the rift, he lands right in the heart of a beast lair. Instantly, 2 mutated lizards ambush him. However, these level 3 and level 4 beasts are no threat. Now that he is level 6, he summons his undead soldiers to handle the lizards, looking around at the surrounding monsters. He just smiles. This is actually a pretty solid chance to farm some aura. He triggers his undead summoning skill, ready to give every fallen beast a brand new purpose. They get a second life and a real chance to finally matter under his command. He orders them all to charge, instantly turning the field into a bloody clash. These newly raised monsters keep some of their original traits, making them incredibly aggressive. They are pretty low on intelligence too, kind of like a 5-year Discord moderator. They only follow simple commands and luckily consume quite a bit less mana. He secretly wonders if he can make them do basic chores like fetching water. He watches his undead soldiers absolutely tear right through the enemy lines. One even uses a domain expansion, releasing dimensional slashes everywhere. While his summons are busy trying to impress him, Fang has other thoughts. He is mostly imagining all the farm labor these guys can take over for him. Things like sowing the land and hauling giant boulders, tasks they are totally overqualified for. Then a sudden surge of power hits him, and he summons another massive wave. Standing there, he feels like a dark Disney princess surrounded by glowing beasts. Within just half an hour, he already reaches the final boss room. A massive bear roars at him, but this beast definitely picked the wrong target. Fang and his crew immediately jump the bear while he casually snacks on special beans. Talk about a total infinite summoning glitch. His mana drains as the warriors fight, but eating berries keeps him topped off. He easily secures a level up and nabs a rare boss drop. It is a special bear orb that grants 10 extra points in Constitution. Honestly, that boost is absolutely nothing compared to what his super crops can do. Having 2 occupations gets him double rewards, making him smile at his good fortune. Life is good, he steps out of the portal, immediately shocking the waiting crowd. They cannot believe a supposedly weak class cleared a solo run completely unharmed. Fang approaches the instructor, casually reporting that the job is already finished. The instructor stares down at his record in complete and utter disbelief. There is no way this rookie just completed a solo run this fast. She grabs his scroll to submit it, still shaking her head at him. She warns him that his reckless solo leveling methods are far too dangerous. If a freshman ends up dying, it would seriously ruin the academy's reputation. Fang just smiles and thanks her, completely unfazed by the warning. She mentions the final interview starts soon, so he should probably go rest. As she walks away, she really hopes he learned not to act so rashly. Walking down the hall, Fang immediately senses a few guys trailing behind him. He wonders what they want and if he will have to completely smoke them. The trio behind him keeps whispering, wondering how a weakling cleared that solo. Did he just bluff or did he hide in some bush to wait out the clock? They figure that if he actually soloed it, he must have taken massive damage. Since he probably has not recovered yet, they think he is an easy target. They plan to easily crush him using their superior numbers. If only these guys knew he has an entire platoon of shadow soldiers waiting. They yell out to Fang, demanding that he stop right there. The goons start posing awkwardly, and one of them tells him to hand over the loot. Another one chimes in, saying that carrying so many rewards must be exhausting for him. They claim they are only here to help, while the third flexes his biceps menacingly. They demand the demon beer balls, leaving Fang wondering why these idiots targeted him. Bucktooth accuses him of playing dumb, insisting that he must hand over his spoils. That exclusive solo leveling reward grants 10 whole Constitution points to anyone who eats them. The ugly trio steps up, they point and threaten the young farmer. Fang is completely unimpressed, wondering what makes these cheap meatballs so special. The watermelons from his farm easily provide the exact same massive stats. Plus, his fruit tastes amazing, no disgusting monster flavor to deal with. His custom watermelons add 10 Constitution points without any of the dungeon grinding. So he casually pulls out the demon beer ball, instantly drawing their greedy eyes. One goon immediately lunges, but a sudden bright flash completely blocks him. The blast shoves the thief back, revealing the level 7 mage from before. She demands to know what they are doing, warning them about company rules. Private fights lead to disqualification, but they tell Ling to back off. They warn her to get out. Instead, Ling completely locks in. Declaring herself a champion of justice, she warns them to back off right now. Otherwise, she will blow them away with explosion magic, which only makes them laugh. They laughingly tell her to run, if not, she gets beaten too. The 3 idiots charge forward together, while Fang watches them with amusement. He is impressed that a level 7 mage can hold her ground so well. She can probably handle these brainless thugs whose collective intelligence is lacking. Their collective IQ is absolutely abysmal, so Ling furiously calls for a team-up. Honestly, nobody could have predicted he would just toss her the beer ball. He shouts a quick thank you and bolts. She's left totally alone. While she deals with the goons, Fang slips away to a quiet storage room. The dropped skill scroll seemed completely useless at first since he could not activate it. Then a brilliant idea strikes him, and he decides to try something different. He infuses both of his unique mana types into the parchment, triggering a reaction. The special cultivation skill activates perfectly, and he eagerly inspects his shadow summons. He immediately tests the new power on the Black Eagle, boosting it significantly. The Black Eagle hits level 8, Yui jumps to level 8 too. His giant bear jumps to level 9, while the rest reach level 7. He smiles, those 2 are definitely his absolute best shadow beasts. The only real issue is his complete lack of secure farmland to practice. Testing these terrifying, nightmare-fueled crops on his family farm is out of the question. As he heads out, Ling catches up and tries returning his rare prize. Fang tells her to keep the ball, but she stubbornly refuses the valuable gift. Honestly, he cannot comprehend why everyone treats this garbage meat like a holy relic. So he heads deep into the quiet forest to finally test his magic. He conjures two strange plants, fusing dark necromancy and pure nature energy. But the resulting creation is far more terrifying than he ever could have imagined. Sharp rows of teeth, rapid movement, he made a huge mistake. An accidental apex predator, Fang immediately turns around and bolts. The bureau investigator hunting the necromancer finally arrives on the scene. He calls out to Fang, asking if he is just some lowly farmer. Looking down on his simple clothes, the man asks if he noticed anything strange. Fang thinks it over, then he points directly at the arrogant investigator. "You are the only strange thing I have ever seen here," Fang says. The scarred, gorilla-like elite immediately explodes with absolute fury at the insult. He yells about being a Sunwell Academy elite and nephew of the Iron Lion Duke. Blazing fire erupts around his fists. He tells the farmer to watch his mouth. But get this, deep in the woods, this guy starts to transform. The investigator uses his trump card, shifting into a massive, muscular beast. He grows six-pack abs and a fierce lion head, roaring in anger. He promises to make Fang regret ever opening his big mouth. Honestly, Fang just regrets having to look at this bizarre beast form. Little do they know, this farmer can easily thrash him with one hand. The arrogant beast charges, launching a cheap energy orb straight at the boy. As the attack draws close, Fang remembers the special monkwood in his field. It was accidentally flooded with undead mana, gaining a strong paralysis effect. Last time Fang tasted it, his entire body went numb for 24 hours. Grinding it down turns it into a highly effective sleep agent. Right on cue, the beast investigator inhales the powder and instantly stumbles. His vision spins. He wonders what kind of cheap trick the farmer used. Fang simply pinches his nose, completely unaffected by the dust. He explains that it is just normal monkwood powder from the fields. That is just a farmer's specialty. Then he delivers a brutal uppercut. Fused with nature energy, the strike sends the elite flying into the air. After that, Fang strips the investigator down and ties him up tight. Left in his underwear, the elite is told to remember this deep humiliation. Fang leaves him there, hoping some random adventurer will eventually find him. Later on, the academy candidates gather at the main auditorium for testing. Fang starts running over to make sure he is on time. Outside the massive gates, a huge crowd is already lined up. The other applicants stare at Fang, whispering to each other. They doubt that a weak farmer cleared the dungeon alone. Some mock him, claiming he probably just hid like a coward the whole time. Little do they know, he is packing serious power under that simple shirt. They keep trash-talking, treating him like he is completely useless. Only Ling steps forward, greeting Fang with a warm smile. She tries to hand back the demon beast cores. But Fang waves her off, telling her to keep the useless stones. Instead, he snacks on a watermelon slice, earning some weird system points. Fang genuinely does not get why everyone treats these cores as treasures. His farm produce is much more valuable to him anyway. Inside the hall, the candidates line up before the instructors. During this phase, the academy teachers will choose their pupils. But the students also get to pick their own mentors. Some solid matches are made here. First up is Shy, a guy who is a level 6 Earth Warrior capable of transforming into a badass giant mech. That is his core ability, allowing him to summon heavy armor for battle. A level 44 Earth Berserker wants to take him under his wing, and Shy immediately agrees. Next up is Yang, who also manages to secure his own mentor. Finally, Fang steps up and unleashes a surge of pure nature energy, a level 8 spirit farm lord. One instructor wonders how someone so young could reach level 8. His level is absurdly high. Fang just smiles. Seriously, whenever anyone looks at her, something definitely starts rising, and it is not the shield hero. Meanwhile, another tutor sneers at Fang for just being a simple farmer. He reminds the others that their prestigious academy is the second best next to UI. They need elite warriors for the front lines, not people who are destined to become cheap cannon fodder. The Earth Berserker even questions if Fang should be allowed to take the test. Only the director seems to have any real sense of fairness and dignity here. he tells the instructors to calm down and suggests they settle. This with a quick combat test instead of crowding the kid. The other mentors agree, turning to ask Fang if he is willing, since his final goal is reaching the dangerous front lines to fight demons. He needs to prove he can handle it. Without any combat potential, sending him out there is like majoring in arts during a recession. Fang quietly considers this sudden combat test, after all his current battle style is tough to disguise without exposing his secret necromancer powers. That could be major issue if anyone finds out, yet Fang still agrees to the fight. The entire crowd holds their breath, looking at the massive Earth Berserker. To them, this is not even a contest, it is a hydrogen bomb versus a coughing baby scenario. The battle-hardened Berserker barks at Fang to show what he is made of, instantly unleashing his heavy crushing aura. The pressure is suffocating, which is expected from a veteran over level 40. A few bystanders can barely even breathe, but our boy is built entirely different. Fang stands there completely unfazed. The veteran smiles, genuinely surprised by the kid resisting his overwhelming conqueror aura. Just for staying conscious, he already respects the young farmer. He dares Fang to strike with absolute full power. Fang drops into a low crouch, preparing himself, even though the pressure of a level 44 warrior is heavy. He can easily manage. He immediately summons his trusted companion, the massive one-horned bear. This beast is technically undead, but Fang adds a clever twist. He coats the creature in thick nature mana to perfectly disguise his dark necromancy, hiding the classic purple and black energy. Now the bear glows with a vibrant green. The berserker definitely was not expecting to fight an eco-friendly summon. He figures it is just a rare skill variant. But it still grabs his interest. Drawing his heavy blades, he rushes the beast. They clash violently. The green bear deflects every incoming strike, roaring back in defiance. The principal watches, marveling at the sheer loyalty of this summon. Ordinarily, other beasts taking this much damage would immediately panic or vanish, yet this creature keeps tearing forward relentlessly, actually pushing the veteran back. The director silently wonders if the elite fighter has grown soft. Meanwhile, Fang looks away, feeling slightly awkward. He is secretly using a level 9 undead warrior after all, which feels no pain and never tires. Shallow wounds mean absolutely nothing to it. Help it recover. See, the berserker just wanted to show off in front of the academy students. He never expected to struggle against someone he had just trash-talked. Now it looks like he has to unleash his actual power. He even apologizes to Fang for destroying his summoned beast, promising to pay him back later, but that is because normal summoning takes a massive pile of gold just to sign a contract. Once they are dead, they are gone forever, so the berserker activates his bloodthirst skill to completely smash through the summon. He smiles smugly right at Fang, fully expecting him to burst into tears over losing his precious spirit bear. He is also waiting for the crowd to praise him as some elite genius, but he did not expect Fang to stay as expressionless as a brick wall. Why is he not crying? Or maybe the shock is just so deep that he went completely numb. Fang does not care about feeling sad, instantly summoning massive vines to bind the berserker. Then he uses another cluster of plants to form a massive spinning drill. Where did our boy learn such brutal combat tactics? The berserker screams, shouting that nobody can ever beat him. Right then, the academy director steps in and commands both of them to stop. Fang has easily proved he is more than worthy of joining the school, but there is a catch. All the nature class instructors are currently away on field duty, meaning he has to study on his own for now. Fang does not mind self-study, he just wants his promised resources. The director agrees to hand over the supplies, plus as a reward for passing the exam, he can make one special request from the school, without missing a single beat. Our boy demands a plot of land. The director is completely thrown off by this. No legendary gear, no top-tier weapons, not even a date with a beautiful instructor. Instead, he just wants some ground to farm on. Who is this guy? Genghis Khan. Fang just smiles, knowing that a spirit farm lord needs his own soil. Otherwise, it is just awkward. The director sighs, agreeing to give him a plot of abandoned wasteland on the west side of the city. It has been sitting empty for years, so he can do whatever he wants with the place. Later on, the investigators review Fang's official performance. During this, an instructor rushes in to report that one of their own was killed. Specifically, the very same warrior Fang had previously pinned down was murdered by a mysterious force. And now the high-ups are blaming a rogue necromancer. Talk about a setup. Things are definitely starting to look dangerous for our boy. Chapter 6, Fang finally makes it to his newly acquired wasteland. Well, it is not inherited but leased. He stands on the dusty earth and burns the lease scroll, having secured the rights for 1 full year. That is roughly 100 acres of dry dirt. But for a spirit lord, transforming dead soil is basic work. Still, he is not pleased that it only lasts 12 months. While normal people might hesitate, he plans to make the absolute most of his time. After all, this massive plot of land belongs entirely to him for the next 365 days. Right now, he is finally truly worthy of the title of Spirit Farm Lord. After praising his own genius, he immediately summons his entire army of undead, ordering them to start working the fields. Black Eagle crouches down to dig up the tough soil while Huey conjures a freshwater spring. From thin air, Hauntbeer begins plowing the ground and Shadow Hawk takes over sowing the seeds. All while our boy just sits back and munches on some refreshing spirit watermelon. Talk about living the absolute dream life. Suddenly, he feels a tap on his shoulder and asks if they are already finished with the fields, but his two undead summons just stare back at him blankly. Olive. Suddenly, Huey starts chuckling, and Fang leans in closer to inspect him. It is honestly way too much to expect a mindless undead to think for itself. But as Fang turns to leave, Huey smiles. Later, Fang is in his greenhouse. He is busy planting demonic veggies that grant some pretty crazy temporary and permanent buffs. He laughs hysterically. Ordinary people must train to the point of collapse. They endure lifetimes of brutal, painful training just to gain a little bit of power. Meanwhile, he just tends his crops, eats well, and builds a solid foundation. It is a massive pity that he is the only one who can cultivate these plants. If only he could boost the yield, the entire demon tribe would be reduced to absolutely nothing but useless clay toys. He sighs, planting normal crops instead. He hides the special ones by planting normal veggies around them so nobody discovers his secret. Otherwise, his greenhouse will definitely get shut down by some annoying health inspectors. He starts digging up potatoes, telling Black Eagle to copy his exact movements on the field. Under the scorching sun, no wonder his ancestors absolutely loved having slaves. Having extra hands makes production so much faster, but then his face suddenly turns dark. Suddenly, his expression turns dark as he asks a lizard what the hell it is doing. The creature is happily chomping on a potato and somehow gets an incredibly massive buff. Fang is shocked to discover that undead creatures can also receive buffs. The lizard that just ate the potato is already visibly growing much stronger right now. Over the next few days, Fang starts experimenting with his powers and records their effects on various crops. Then trouble strikes. A mysterious man stands over the greenhouse, wondering where it came from. Just a couple of days ago, this entire area was nothing but a completely barren wasteland. He draws his blade, though his massive butt chin makes him hard to take seriously. He looks at Fang lounging around, immediately wondering if he is walking into a trap. He tries to tiptoe inside, but triggers an explosive potato instead. The spy barely evades the first blast, wondering if these weak traps can really stop him. But he is instantly proven wrong when a crowd of potatoes surround him and detonate. Talk about an explosive situation. It is exactly like suggesting a strict diet at a massive anime convention. A series of explosions light up the horizon. Deep in the shadows, something dark awakens. A gorgeous nature spirit emerges, sporting assets far too massive for ordinary humans to handle. Her eyes blaze, one with undead power, the other with raw nature energy. It seems the power of Fang runs far deeper than he actually understands at this exact moment. Meanwhile, the spy is getting absolutely wrecked by a bunch of explosive potatoes. He wouldn't have returned here if he did not highly value the trust of the Grand Duke. He tries to slash them down, but he senses a strange undead odor nearby. He recalls his orders from the High Pope to search the city for the necromancer. After all, that dark mage had made a pact with their demon race. The spy wonders if the necromancer is actually hiding out in a place like this. Did he really betray the demon tribe? If so, the man is incredibly shameless. Realizing it is far too dangerous, he immediately decides to flee. By the next morning, our boy wakes up feeling incredibly refreshed. Most of his farm chores are already done. leaving only a few areas to tend. But suddenly, he freezes in shock. His plow is ruined. The entire farm is a total mess of explosions when a dragon soars through the air and a couple of elite aura users touch down. They are the enforcement squad members. Their outfit drip goes hard, especially those red glowing ties. They detect demonic energy here and they are also shocked to see a massive training ground turned into a farm. They realize this land was leased to Fang for a whole year, but they still cannot rule out the presence of demons. One of them tells Fang to lower his barrier. Fang is sweating bullets, completely terrified, wondering why these guys showed up. One enforcer warns him that the device in his hand detects any demonic signature. All he has to do is drop the shield and let them search. The other guy demands to know if he is deaf. Fang is still trying to wrap his mind around this. How could demons be here when he just rented the place? Their leader arrives with massive flames blazing behind him for absolutely no reason. He says their colleague Tuka was slaughtered by a demon and the dark energy traces here. As far as they are concerned, Fang looks exactly like a demon spy. He gulps hard. Honestly, we all know that feeling when you get hit with wild, baseless accusations. No warrant, pure suspicion. Chapter 7, Outside of the Defensive. Barrier, that hot-headed enforcer, accuses Fang of being a spy and demands his surrender. The other two warn Hero that he is acting way too rashly, but with Tuka dead from demonic power, they cannot ignore the connection. He orders Fang to cooperate with their search and lower the shield. Fang glances away. Panicking internally because he has to get rid of them, he starts acting like a helpless victim, claiming he is just a simple farmer trying to escape the city and quietly cultivate in peace. But now the scary enforcers are here accusing him of crimes. The glasses-wearing enforcer actually feels bad for Fang, asking his hot-headed comrade to calm down, but Hero completely loses it. He yells that anyone can fake being sad, playing the victim while causing all the drama. Hero charges straight at Fang, ready to deliver a devastating, explosive punch. But Fang blocks the attack effortlessly, not a single scratch on him. Internally, he curses himself for putting way too many stats into his constitution. He literally feels nothing, all thanks to his buffed watermelons. He still needs to fake the injury, putting on an absolute masterclass performance. Like a dramatic soccer player, he yells out in pain while clutching his chest. Hero ignites his fist with fire again, shocked that Fang survived that heavy strike. Fang plays along, weakly asking if they are trying to force a confession. This sad display actually starts to work on the other two enforcers. They order Hero to cool down and put out his flames immediately. After all, Fang's nature magic is incredibly pure, and demons absolutely hate pure nature mana. They would literally throw up being within 6 feet of his energy. The glasses enforcer steps up to apologize to Fang for the massive misunderstanding. Since his mana is clean, they will write it up. Fang stands up and calls him a good person and a fair official, which really pleases the guy. But Hero is still raging, trying to throw another punch at Fang. This time, both of his teammates block his way. Realizing he cannot win, Hero hops on his dragon and flies off into the sunset, leaving a very confused Fang behind. It is getting pretty troublesome, and he clearly needs more strength just to protect himself. Right then, a paper crane floats down beside him. A strange voice tells him to gather at the Academy Training Hall tomorrow morning. Every single freshman has to undergo a sudden ability evaluation to grade their actual combat power. Fang stares as the little paper crane crumbles, wondering why a quiet life is so hard to find. Meanwhile, couple watches him from the shadows, quietly discussing the massive, majestic nature mana swirling around him. A 10 by 10 beauty who looks a lot like Fubuki from One Punch Man points out that the boy is supposedly just a basic farmer, though she wonders how his nature energy could possibly be this insanely pure. The principal chimes in that his status screen names him a legendary spirit farm lord, not some low-level farmer. It is a pretty grand title, and the nature archmage Vera is instantly captivated by it. Vina merely offers a knowing smile. His class variant is incredibly rare, meaning he is hiding some massive secrets. They really want to pry open his secrets to find out why his wood element energy is so ridiculously pure. That level of divine purity is easily enough to clear him of any suspicion of working with the demons. After all, filthy demons can never mimic a genuine life aura. For now, they decide to watch him from afar. Soon, the new students gather inside the crowded auditorium. Everyone is totally confused about what is happening since they already passed their entrance interviews. So why is there suddenly another combat test? They genuinely believed they would just start their normal classes today. One student whispers to his friends that he has some juicy insider info. Suddenly, the stunning instructor arrives on stage. She immediately demands everyone shut up and stop with their endless questions. They have already thoroughly screened everyone. This sudden combat test is simply to separate the weak from the strong. The Academy has just received an urgent military request to dispatch more active forces straight to the front lines. The demons are growing far more aggressive, and humanity desperately needs soldiers to defend the third rampart. The Academy must immediately deploy a fresh batch of combat-ready recruits. Everyone in the crowd starts panicking. Some ask why they are being shipped to war right after enrolling. Aren't they supposed to train and cultivate their powers first? One student notes the instructor is basically wearing no pants, while she coldly reminds the crowd that if the nest is overturned, no eggs can remain whole. It is a grim metaphor about a society on the brink of ruin, forcing new recruits straight into a brutal war. Do they honestly expect to practice peacefully in a classroom while the world burns? This is not some polite request, it is a military draft. Humanity needs them now. A nervous boy asks Ling if she is truly heading straight to the deadly front lines. Fang, however, just stands there completely silent like an unshakable stone pillar. Ling tells her friends not to worry, though she secretly wonders if Fang will get selected too. Honestly, just thinking about him makes her face redder than his own ripe tomatoes. He is built like a total god anyway. The instructor orders everyone to head straight into the arena for real, live-fire combat training. Fang silently prays that his farmer status keeps him off the front lines so he can grow crops. Otherwise, his quiet life is over. Right off the bat, he is paired with a goth girl. She puts on a real show. A massive column of fire erupts, but to Fang, it is incredibly slow. Honestly, she might as well mail him the hit. Because that weak magic could not even roast the sweet potatoes he grows in his peaceful fields. He decides to end this instantly, landing a swift punch to her gut to eliminate her. Any chance of her ever becoming a mother? He is declared the winner, and the next few clashes are a total sweep for our boy. He easily takes down every single opponent. This catches the attention of Vina, who hands him a bottle of water. With his talent, he is bound for much bigger stages. He could even enter Sun Academy, the best magic school in the entire world. They have superior cultivation techniques and legendary masters over there. He can even get top-tier weapons or a powerful demonic beast, but Fang is not excited about any of that. She wonders what he actually wants. Our boy answers without missing a single beat. He wants a much larger plot of fertile land to farm. Vina tells him to reveal his actual plan. What is his ultimate goal? Our boy simply wants more land so even more people can cultivate. Vina wonders if he is some eco-activist who really wants to reclaim all the lost wildlands that got paved over for parking lots. The principal approaches Fang, asking if he is restoring the wasteland, and if that is not enough for him. Fang just smiles. After all, the more land, the better. He is matched up against Ling next. The principal asks Vina if she wants to train the kid, and she honestly finds him completely amazing. Ling faces Fang, summoning two dark elemental spears while Fang just grins. He really wants to mess around, but Vina is closely watching this duel. He summons a wall of tentacles and traps her in a highly questionable position. Looks like our boy learned combat straight from weird adult anime videos. She still manages to slice through them. For level 10 mage, that is expected. Vina, on the other hand, is deeply impressed by his raw nature magic. Even as a level 80 archmage, her own mana is not as pure as his. The youthful prodigy has endless potential. The principal asks if she wants to take him as an apprentice. Her own mana cannot compare to his. His path is boundless. Once again, the principal wonders if she actually wants to instruct him. She replies that she wants him to teach her instead. The principal asks if she lost her mind, but she insists on becoming his student. Meanwhile, Fang easily evades every strike Ling throws, dodging blows like a pro, avoiding responsibility. Fang, on the other hand, remains completely unfazed. He has already shown plenty of power to qualify. He just wants to give up and leave. but the principal notices that he is actively holding back. He warns the kid that if he keeps slacking off, the school will confiscate his precious farmland and pave it over for parking lot. That threat instantly triggers a deep protective instinct inside Fang. How dare they even think about stealing his soil? Even Ling can feel his aura exploding. It is as if he became an entirely different person. Now he is seriously going on the offensive instead of just defending. Fang summons a massive storm of pure nature energy, and Ling desperately counters with 2 fire arrows. She fires a massive fireball straight at Fang, but our boy easily counters it with a burst of botanical magic. He then channels that force right into his fist, ready to deliver an absolute beatdown. Ling was definitely not expecting him to unleash an anime-level finish. Staring at that fist inches from her nose, she begins to seriously regret her life choices. She cannot believe his sheer strength. Fang just smiles, quietly telling her that he will let her win. The arena goes dead silent. Is this guy actually a humble farmer or a seasoned gladiator? They wonder. Some even suspect he is a secret berserker in disguise. Vina, meanwhile, he commands nature magic like a literal extension of his body. Closing the distance, Fang reaches for Ling. The guy is ridiculously smooth. Seriously, our guy has effortlessly charmed the absolute top girls on campus. Ling tells her crush to stay strong. After all, he is incredibly powerful. After all, he just saved his fields from being seized by the mafia. The principal pats his back, clearly liking what he saw during the match. He tells Fang to keep working hard to prove his worth. Fang secretly promises to teach this annoying old man a real lesson later. Walking home alone, he is suddenly approached by a stunning green-haired girl. She radiates a gorgeous aura, immediately begging Fang to become her master. Her goal is to cultivate under him, leaving Fang completely lost. A high-tier combat class asking a basic farmer for guidance is unheard of. The girl just smiles sweetly, introducing herself as a student named Vina. She watched his duel and was utterly blown away by his nature magic. To her, his control over nature mana is nothing short of legendary. Even noble elves cannot command the elements with this much raw force. Because she has been stuck in her current cultivation realm, she wants his guidance. Fang desperately tries to shake her off. He wants none of this. He is absolutely no instructor, and more importantly, he has to keep his dark necromancy hidden. Besides, he heard all the actual nature magic teachers are currently away. They are all on the battlefield, so why can she not wait? Vina insists that he is as good as any master. She does not need official classes. All she wants is to help in his fields and learn by observation. Bowing deeply before him, she gives our boy a very distraction-filled view of her chest. Even doing farm chores is fine if she can absorb his natural aura. But his secret crops are way too sensitive to let strangers watch. He apologizes, claiming he has absolutely nothing to teach her besides brute strength. Right then, Principal Furbor arrives, stepping in as the ultimate wingman. He tells Fang that it is not nice to keep a pretty lady begging for so long. Then he whispers something strange that instantly forces Fang to change his mind. Vina beams with joy, promising she won't disrupt his daily chores. She even sweetens the deal by pressing his arm tightly against her chest. Soon enough, Vina proves she is actually a diligent, hardworking farmhand. She constantly takes notes, though he still keeps his secret crops hidden. Fang instructs her to start by getting familiar with the general fields. As she walks over to the crops, she senses something totally incredible. The plants are bursting with pure nature energy and give massive stat buffs. This makes her even more intensely curious about Fang's true identity. 1 hour later, she is still carefully examining his high-grade seeds. It seems impossible to grow items like this using such ordinary soil. Did he really not mix magic crystals or elemental loam into the ground? Fang just shrugs. Honestly, buying premium magical fertilizer is far too expensive. Since he is pretty broke, Vina points to a slightly withered plant. She insists that he really needs proper soil to match his magic. Since his mana is so remarkably pure, she really wants to help him maximize his harvest. He has got a knockoff Fabuki posing as a student, working under him in the blazing hot fields. The academy actually has a rule allowing students to swap core materials. For dungeon loot, Fang grins, asking for the details, and Vina explains that he can trade a wolf warrior Fang from the level 10 dungeon for a bottle of Earth Pulse, a highly potent fertilizer, though it takes ages to actually get it. Of course, that is the catch, and the rule is about to be scrapped. Fang just grins, ready to show her exactly what his sickle can do, rushing straight toward the dungeon portals, even breaking into a full Naruto run. Vea cannot believe anyone could be so incredibly pure and innocent. When he arrives at the gate, a massive crowd is already waiting for the job. Quest, immediately spotting Fang standing out like a sore thumb. Everyone recognizes him as the guy who solo cleared the previous dungeons, and this time is absolutely no different. He plans to run this solo too, aiming to grab those sweet exchange rewards. The instructor starts to protest, but the moment he notices Vina pretending to be a student, he quickly changes his tune, lamely warning Fang to stay safe. Our boy just chuckles and steps through the portal, leaving the doubting crowd behind. He is instantly greeted by a pack of snarling, hungry wolves. Too bad they have to face Yui. Yui absolutely shreds the front lines, while Black Eagle forces the rest into submission. Fang commands them to arise. Instead of terrifying monsters, they summon back as cute, fluffy little puppies. Then the wolf warrior finally spawns, and this beast looks like it is straight nightmare fuel. It is enough to make any seasoned fighter wet their pants. But Fang just yawns, ordering his shadow beast to attack. 5 seconds later, the oversized target is flat on his back, dropping the exact saber Fang has been searching for. Fang glances at the sky. Mission accomplished, and now it is time to get out of here. Sadly, his level was too low to claim the wolf warrior as a shadow. Still, a win is a win. Emerging from the dungeon, he finds Vina still negotiating with the instructor, who is desperately trying to rethink the whole exchange policy. She tells him to relax. It is not like the kid is asking for some legendary artifact. All he wants is high-quality plant food. The instructor finally caves right as Fang walks up. The surrounding crowd is green with envy. How is a level 8 farmer soloing a level 10 dungeon? Rowan completely refuses to buy it, yelling that if Fang is actually pulling this off, they demand a full investigation. Even Vina is caught off guard by how fast he was. Honestly, our boy is just way too good for his own good. He catches everyone giving him the absolute death stare, genuinely wondering what he did wrong. Our guy looks around completely lost, wearing the same blank expression you get when blamed for something you did not do. Brushing the stares aside, he turns his attention back to the instructor, asking to trade his hard-earned dungeon drops for that premium fertilizer. Bootleg Sasuke instantly pipes up, questioning if the loot is even legit. The instructor snaps at him to stay out of this. He cleared the dungeon fair and square, meaning the academy cannot legally take it back. Hearing this, Spiky yells that he wants a resource gamble, which basically means both sides put their hard-won loot on the line. The player who clears the dungeon fastest under official supervision takes everything, leaving the loser completely broke and in massive debt. The instructor sighs and asks if he is actually willing to take the bet. Fang sees absolutely no reason to do it is boring and offers zero benefits. Spiky immediately looks completely outraged and desperate, deciding to throw in a rare blueprint for a lamp of nature to sweeten the deal. Vina leans in, whispering that Fang absolutely needs that lamp design. This legendary lamp reduces the crop growth cycle without any side effects. It is an absolute cheat code for farming, and Spiky smiles smugly, calling him a total country bumpkin while offering a very risky wager. But secretly, Spiky is texting his brother Huru to coordinate their next move. The plan is to stall Fang by throwing in their family heirloom. Fang knows that if his dark necromancy skills are exposed, he is absolutely cooked. Evading a supervising instructor is incredibly risky, but the prize is way too massive. Since the legendary nature lamp is on the line, he accepts. Spiky laughs aloud. Just wait and see, he thinks. The teacher will definitely expose him. A portal to a level 10 dungeon suddenly opens, and Fang steps right through. The supervisor follows close behind. Fang decides to show off just a fraction. Summoning his shadows, he casually refers to them as his helpful tenants instead. He wraps his shadows in a thick, glowing cloak of pure nature energy. Talk about going green. The instructor did not expect such an incredibly fast summon. Plus, the sheer quality of these units is elite. Fang gives the order. Go tear this dungeon apart, he commands. Time to show them a solo run. He orders Yuri to attack at full power. Horned Bear immediately charges forward, The massive beast unleashes a wild burst of green energy in all directions. Yuri follows up with giant fireballs, raining absolute destruction down on the kobolds. The supervising instructor is completely dazed as the entire cobalt pack vanishes instantly. He wiped them out in a blink, and Fang did not even flinch. Honestly, who wouldn't be terrified seeing a rookie pull off that kind of power? Fang calmly asks the teacher if they are ready for the boss room. They step inside, and a giant werewolf boss immediately charges right toward them. Fang quickly tells Big Bear to raise his massive shield to protect their flank. The giant beast locks down the front line, bracing for the heavy impact. He slams directly into the werewolf lord, while Yuri fires off energy bolts. The instructor is shaking in his boots at this incredible combat coordination. This level of war potential is something he must report to the principal. Fang casually waves a single hand, ending the boss fight without any delay. He turns and asks the supervisor if he has sufficiently proved his power. The teacher agrees, there is absolutely no doubt they can move on now. Fang smiles, asking for a few moments to appreciate the dungeon scenery. The instructor warns him to make it quick since the portal closes soon. 30 minutes is all he has. Fang quickly runs toward the fallen boss. Before, his level was too low to extract it, but now he can. He wants to claim this beast. Sure enough, the ritual succeeds perfectly. The werewolf rises from the dead, fully bound to obey Fang's every command. Stepping out of the portal, his classmates immediately look over in awe. They look pretty terrified that Fang might hold a grudge for their bullying. The instructor approaches, handing over his promised reward scroll and a pouch. These are his rewards. He asks Vina where his challenger went. Vina explains that the coward fled once the school administrator stepped in. He left his loot behind. Fang smiles at the jackpot. The final harvest is right around the corner, and the instructor can only laugh. Vina gets the fight footage. Back at Sunwell Academy, Hero is becoming Fang's biggest hater. He put the guy's face on a punching bag. He wants payback for that. Humiliation, but brute force is out of the question since the rules protect him. He needs another angle, and just like that, an idea hits him, seeing Fang's highly unusual style of nature magic. He orders all frontliners specializing in that magic to return immediately. His brother asks if he's planning to use the instructors. To crush him, Hero grins. Those old fogies absolutely obsess over the purity of nature magic. If they catch Fang using it for street brawls, they will end his career. But what Hero has no idea about is that Vina, an elite archmage, is currently obsessing over this very boy, replaying his footage over and over. She whispers in awe, he is a monster, he understands the elements. Completely by instinct. Driven by excitement, she writes to the old masters, urging them to return immediately. Before they miss their chance to see a true prodigy of nature, off goes her pigeon, summoning them home so they do not miss the opportunity of a lifetime. Meanwhile, for several consecutive days, Fang practically moves into the dungeon, constantly hunting endless packs of werewolves to farm their tusks. Witnessing this, onlookers are stunned, as he breaks his own speed record with every single run, leaving them too exhausted to count how many times he has done it. Eventually, he drags a massive crate of werewolf fangs to the counter, where the instructor tells him he finally has enough points to apply for a promotion, transitioning from the basic academy straight to the upper elite branch. Fang is caught completely off guard, having no idea this place even had a higher division. It turns out the entire institution is split into two halves. The lower division is for the weak, and the upper section is for elites like him. Once admitted to Sunwell Academy, the resources and rare rewards scale up tremendously. That prestigious division is exactly where a true monster like him belongs. Deciding to check it out, Fang heads straight over to the main admission hall. There, a body asks if he is registering for his advancement to Sunwell Academy. The moment Fang presents his tag, hushed whispers immediately break out around him. The guy is a local legend now. He relentlessly grinds the gloom forest, so the receptionist slides him his quest scroll. This holds his official promotion mission. Once cleared, his elite status becomes official. Vinx wonders if he can finally trade for those legendary gold tier materials. Another gorgeous assistant who is honestly testing everyone's focus explains that while enrolled at Stormhall Academy, he is limited to bronze and silver grade supplies. But after promoting, he gets gold. Fang offers a confident smile and turns on his heel, eager to locate the specific quest item located in the defensive line just outside the city. Since the target area is right next to his family manor, this should be an easy walk in the park. He makes a quick pit stop at the vault first where Fang collects the Lamp of Nature, a silver tier artifact that's almost gold level. The bald master warns him to be careful and keep it from getting tainted. Fang just smiles and promises he won't let that happen, yet 5 seconds later, he decides to do the exact opposite, even though they said the lamp can't handle dark power. He's absolutely ready to risk it all, so he starts pouring that dark energy in, and the artifact immediately warps, turning into an item of pure doom. Fang quickly stuffs it down his pants and runs off, desperate to avoid getting caught. He heads straight to the farm outside the city and hangs the lamp right over his crops. He watches closely as they immediately start shooting up. Seriously, someone hang this lamp over my pants. Maybe then I'd finally get my girlfriend back. Either way, this power is truly terrifying, forcing the crops to grow at an insane rate. Fang puts his shirt back on, glad everything went smoothly. Then he hops into the portal, ready to farm monsters, this time instead of dead bodies. Yui stares at the lamp and slowly reaches out. Is his shadow actually gaining real sentience? Outside the abandoned factory, Fang teleports right to the mission zone. Now he just needs to search the area and grab his target. But wait, there are already fresh footprints here. Who in the world would sneak into this place? He spots two absolute clowns in suits claiming they found the artifact first and must steal it before Fang can finish his mission. These two brain-dead idiots are actively trying to sabotage him, hoping to keep him far away from Sunwheel Academy. One of them grabs the target book and casually tosses it aside. If that book hits the floor, it's finished. But they don't know Fang has the literal power of anime on his side. The book slides right into his hands, and he casually thanks them for the freebie. They charge him to snatch it back, but Fang is already 3 steps ahead. He summons massive vines straight from the dry dirt, trapping them in a tight hold. Now they either explain themselves or these vines are going to get very personal. Stepping out of the factory, Fang clenches his fist in absolute anger. He knows Hero is pulling the strings. That scumbag is actually targeting him now. But back on his farm, a hilarious sight completely derails his anger. His shadow is basically running a construction crew, complete with a tiny hat. It's bossing the other shadows around to farm while holding that glowing lamp. Fang smiles, seeing his farm is fully automated without any AI. Meanwhile, in Hero's room, his assistant delivers some seriously bad news. The men sent to the tower have completely vanished, leaving only lingering mana. There is a very high probability that those guys are already dead. Hero slams his fist into the wall, furious at his useless underlings. He'll have to handle Fang himself. How dare that nobody kill his men? He orders his assistant to hire the deadly Shadow Eclipse assassins, offering them a massive bounty for Fang's head. He knows Fang definitely killed Tuka. Later, at the Sunwheel Academy Hall, Fang is officially welcomed in. He's finally passed the trials and receives his brand new student uniform. Now he's ready to walk the path of seeking truth with his official Academy nameplate. Fang never actually expected to get in, but here he is. Now he can finally grind more credits and score some planting supplies. He turns back to the level 10 dungeon that has basically become his second home. He hands over his nameplate with total confidence, wanting to apply for a solo run, but the instructor delivers some bad news. Fang freezes in shock, wondering why he is banned. The instructor nervously explains that to ensure fairness, resources, and opportunities for the lower academy students, upper academy students cannot challenge level 10 or lower dungeons. Fang can barely believe his ears. He will not be able to farm his favorite dungeon for easy money ever again. He is just as shocked as I was when my parents told me an art degree would not get me a job. He turns to leave, completely disappointed. The instructor sighs in relief that he is finally gone. If he had not stopped his farming ritual, the entire warehouse would have been cleared out by him. Fang is also at a loss now, having lost his most efficient way to farm supplies. Right then, another student walks up to him, calling him their newly promoted junior brother. He introduces himself as Ron and says he feels bad for Fang. He asks if he wants to join a mission or something since their squad is currently one man short, if he wants to accept this simple collection mission, they can make some easy money. Fang remains skeptical. After all, this timing is just a bit too convenient. Ron wraps an arm around Fang, promising they will make a killing together. It is also a good chance to get used to the difficulty of these upper dungeons. Fang side-eyes him. He definitely needs those credits to trade for plant supplies, and since he cannot farm dungeons anymore, Fang decides to accept the offer. Besides, this is just a simple collection run, so what could go wrong? There should not be any major issues. He joins the crew, which makes Ron smile, promising he will not regret it. The others are waiting outside the dungeon entry point. They head over to the portal and Ron introduces their teammates, the cold-faced Venice Dave and sour-faced Tordo. Ron explains that their goal is to collect moonlight grass deep inside the forest. They need to gather 10 stalks each. If the intel is correct, night elves are patrolling the area ready for a fight. They must avoid combat, grab the grass, and leave immediately. Finally, they hop into the portal and teleport deep into the shadow woodlands. Ron quickly manages to find a stalk of moonlight grass, which is their main objective. He did not expect things to go so smoothly, but he just had to say that and completely jinx them. Suddenly, a squad of shadow elves arrives. The night elf patrol is here, and they are in a league of their own, immediately shooting lasers at the crew. Ron manages to parry the attacks with his blade. He tells everyone to get into formation, and since Fang uses nature magic, he needs to restrain them. Night elves absolutely despise nature magic. Fang understands, immediately hitting them with a classic vine restraining spell. Soon, all of these hostile beauties are bound by Fang's thick vines. He pulls them together as Ron steps in to give them a taste of his blade. He warns Fang to stay alert because more night elves are on the way. Meanwhile, Venice Dave side-eyes Tordo, who just smirks. He claps his hands, and suddenly a massive stone pillar shatters the ground right between them. All the night elf corpses and Fang plunge into the ravine. Fang barely holds on. Hanging from the cliff edge, he yells, "What the hell are they doing?" Ron acts sorry. He claims it was just a skill Tordo recently learned. But Tordo messed up. Fang tells him to cut the absolute trash. He has seen the Lion King. He knows they do not want to save him. Ron laughs. It is not personal, but the mission was just too impossible. In their report, he died to monsters, a hero who saved his team. Fang sneers, a cover story. Aren't they worried about getting caught? Not at all. Ron explains how the Academy nameplates actually function. They record powerful mana signatures. If Fang dies, their records stay clean. His plate will show he died while bravely fighting elite enemy beasts. Instead of showing any terror, Fang just calmly scratches his cheek. Classic Fang. Just one last question. Is there really no way to track this? The killer laughs. They have done this dirty trick multiple times already. They are professionals. Fang finally has all the answers he was seeking. He lets go of the rocky cliff, falling down like a boss. Ron smirks. He thinks Fang chose an easy death over 3 opponents. But Ron is instantly proven wrong. Suddenly, Fang starts levitating in midair. He summons his legion, instantly surrounding the trio with shadows. Yui even blows a quick heart sign before summoning a massive wave. She completely engulfs the trio. Ron never expected to face these monsters. He stammers in shock. Is he a necromancer? Fang tells him to shut up. Ron instantly panics. He apologizes, claiming they have no real personal beef. They were just hired by Hero, and now they completely admit they were wrong. Fang knows this apology is about as sincere as a lawyer's oath. They just want to survive. Ron explains that Hero wants him dead because he thinks Fang killed Tuka. Who is Tuka? Fang has no idea. Ron looks away nervously. Fang sighs, telling them to just forget it. After all, they have a much greater purpose serving under his wing. The moment they die, Fang commands them to arise. Shadow evolution begins. Instantly they transform. Are human shadows naturally smarter than simple beasts? He quickly loots the mana cards from the dead night elves. No cleanup required. He just needs to go and report their deaths. But as he prepares to leave, the exit portal refuses to open. A system message pops up. The exit is blocked by a special effect. He must contribute to the dungeon first. Also, all tributes get boosted. Tributes are up 200%. The space around him starts warping. His eyes widen. A giant elf barbarian arrives, riding an elephant-sized horse. The massive rider gallops in circles around him, trying to intimidate him. Fang is not afraid, he is just incredibly annoyed by this guy. He calls out his shadow squad, this won't take very long. Instantly, Coldface strikes, swiping directly under the massive horse's legs. Ron's shadow swings his hands, firing a ray that freezes the beast. The barbarian tumbles down. Coldface quickly impales him with shadow arrows. All the while, Fang just sits back and enjoys a juicy banana. Their instincts are lethal. They coordinate perfectly to shred a dungeon boss in seconds. The demon looks around in total confusion, wondering about this death magic. Fang notices him trying to speak, but he cannot understand anything. Hearing nothing but gibberish, Fang simply orders his shadow soldiers to bury him. Beer swipes a massive paw, instantly turning the demon into a complete hollow donut. Wind reports the situation. 50% of the dungeon has been cleared. It is a dual boss dungeon, so he decides to explore deeper inside. As he walks through the dark forest, he spots a tree covered in glowing mushrooms. At the altar, an 11 out of 10 baddie demands to know why he invaded. Fang cuts through the foliage and asks if she can even speak English. If she cannot understand him, he is just going to start throwing hands immediately. The guardian elf of the dark forest is speechless, standing at level 18. She quickly conjures a massive dome of crimson energy while Fang checks the stats. Every undead and shadow summon gets a massive power boost and free mana. Meanwhile, normal living units face instant paralysis and decaying effects. Fang just grins. Seriously, the sheer plot armor on this guy is unreal. This entire dungeon is basically custom-made for his personal shadow army to dominate. With his mana completely saved, this debuff field is a total blessing for them. He orders his squad to roll out and flatten her. Meanwhile, Hero waits. He is standing outside the gate, praying Ron can finish Fang off. And if they fail, they are still going to act as the final boss. The real objective of this spell is sealing the dungeon so Fang cannot escape. Hero also starts wondering what kind of nightmare boss is waiting for him. Even with a 400% stat buff, they will not be able to stop her. A smug grin spreads across the face of Hero, already celebrating the demise of Fang. But get this, the toad guy has no clue Fang is absolutely dominating. He is literally snacking on a banana while Yuri drags the boss forward. Yuri drops her before Fang and looks coldly at Black Eagle. She demands to know why Black Eagle betrayed them all. Her hatchery is destroyed, and she suddenly passes out in front of him. A brilliant white pillar of light erupts before him, signaling the final clear. In the very center of the altar, he notices a massive and ancient-looking egg. A system window pops up, revealing it as the inactive embryo of a demon deity. This ancient relic requires highly specific and secret conditions to hatch. Fang quickly stores the egg in his ring as the exit portal opens. The exit portal instantly opens, but he still has some unfinished business to resolve. Walking away and leaving a level 18 guardian boss in a smoking ruin seems like a total waste. He decides to grant her a second chance at life as a shadow. After all, she will easily be as strong as Black Eagle. He triggers Rise, turning her into a smoking hot shadow soldier. She whispers that she is the death executioner, surprising Fang. Can she actually speak, or is that just her only repeatable phrase? She repeats it like a Pokémon, even when he asks if she understands. If the demon clan has girls this stunning, then forget my arts degree. Fang casually walks out of the portal, leaving Hu staring like he saw a ghost. No one believes he cleared a dungeon completely alone. An investigator steps up to ask him. Fang, why he is alone, where are the other students? Fang immediately pulls off an Oscar-worthy performance, spinning a tale about a terrifying attack by massive night black elves. All the other students were gathering moonlight grass when he got separated. He was alone. All he could do was run and hide. He did not fight the boss. Where they died, the investigator checks the screen and realizes it really is night elf mana. Haru, on the other hand, feels his blood pressure spiking. The investigator asks if anything else happened. Afterward, Fang simply remembers getting hit by that weird illusion. He surprises the investigator by staying quiet. Now does he have any enemies? After all, it is impossible to clear a dungeon alone. Fang glances at Haru and Haru's face instantly turns pale. Fang simply tells the investigator that he is not sure. He claims he is just a student at Sunwell Academy with zero enemies. The investigator tells him to drop the dramatic revenge story. They will investigate thoroughly to bring him justice. He thanks the investigator while Haru looks like he just saw a ghost. Fang is not letting him off easy. No matter how far he runs, Shadow Mummy will tie him up. Later, Fang leans close to the mysterious demonic egg, wondering what is wrong. It has been acting extremely restless ever since they returned to the farm. The Guardian's dying words keep echoing in his head. Is this strange embryo actually being nurtured inside the dungeon by someone with a dark purpose? He gently pokes the shell with a finger coated in nature and undead energy. Shockingly, the egg begins absorbing both elements. On paper, the undead element cannot coexist with the nature attribute. It is like expecting an arts major to get a job and start a family. It makes no sense. How can both types of mana live together inside this shell? This weird embryo looks like a creation of the demon tribe. He decides to stash it away in his inventory space. There is only one person who can help him get to the bottom of this. He heads to the principal's office late at night. The principal is surprised, but Fang immediately places the demonic egg down. He tells him to look. The principal leans close, asking where he found it. Fang explains that it dropped in the Shadow Woodlands. He thought it was a normal drop, but something felt wrong. The principal is visibly shaken. This is the embryo of a demon deity. There is no mistake. The demons bypass security to plant it inside the dungeon. Fang wonders what a demon deity actually is. The principal explains that they are terrifying elite weapons of the demon race. They feed on humans, gaining power by consuming their life force. Some can even tear through space. They come in various shapes and sizes, from deceptive and cute beasts to massive brute monsters. Then you have the true nightmares like dragons. Once they learn to cross space, they use dungeons to plant these seeds across different worlds, turning them into perfect nurseries. All the violence, death, and chaotic mana fluctuations inside the dungeon feed the egg, helping it grow. Once the embryo grows large enough, it hatches, breaking out of the dungeon to descend straight into reality. This beast is already in its rapid growth phase. If it remains inside the dungeon, it will hatch in about 6 months, and once it breaks free, it will become a high-level demon. Fang really saved the day Academy from an absolute disaster, but what puzzles him is that these embryos are always deeply hidden. They only reveal themselves to a familiar aura, and Fang suddenly realizes his secret is slipping away. Is his cover about to be blown as a dark necromancer? But then the principal bursts out laughing, quickly apologizing for teasing him. The old man knows that every talented student has secrets. As long as he does not harm the academy or turn into a monster, the school is happy to give this young genius plenty of room to grow. He just needs to promise that he will never use his dark powers for evil, staying loyal to the Sun Academy while defending humanity. Fang quickly promises to keep his word, and the smiling director pats him on the head. He even hands him a territory banner as a reward for handing over the embryo. Thank goodness he didn't do something stupid, like trying to hatch it. Wherever Fang plants this flag, 500 meters of land will immediately expand, allowing him to easily reshape the terrain. Fang just grins. For a guy aiming to build his own domain, this is legendary. The principal tells him to head back to his dorm for now. He will have experts take care of this dangerous egg. The principal also mentions an upcoming student exchange program set to start in a few days. Fang should definitely drop by to mingle with the guests. There is even a nature tribe instructor attending, an expert currently researching the hybridization of plants, and this concept immediately grabs Fang's attention. Currently, he only wraps his undead minions in nature energy to disguise them as ordinary summons. What if he could actually fuse them into powerful chimeras? Later, he heads out to the edge of his wasteland and plants the flag. It instantly generates 500 meters of fresh land. He watches his shadow beasts resting in the shade, then gazes toward the west, wondering what became of the dark executioner he defeated. Meanwhile, Hero sits alone in his room, absolutely furious about the rival who got promoted and ruined his schemes. He cannot wait any longer. If an investigation begins, he will be exposed. He opens a hidden passage in his quarters and steps before a dark, ominous altar. He offers a blood sacrifice to a sinister deity. The powerful demon lord demands to know his desire, and Hiro instantly cowers. Like a frightened puppy, he begs the mighty Gradosa, desperately asking for guidance. Fang keeps ruining all their plans to spread chaos, so how can they eliminate him? Gradosa warns the foolish hero to stop being so incompetent in the future, and their dark designs will succeed. The demon lord decides to dispatch someone more capable to handle Fang. He then strikes the trembling hero with a beam of dark energy, warning him to run before he gets cooked. Later at the new student gathering, Fang sits entirely by himself, thoroughly bored and quietly munching on a hot dog. Suddenly, another student sits beside him and asks for some tips, wanting to know how Fang managed to clear the entry exam alone. But our main character senses a very sketchy vibe radiating from the stranger. He decides to put on another Oscar-worthy performance. He claims he is far too heartbroken over those 3 seniors who tragically died protecting him. Hearing this, the guy politely backs off, promising they can chat later. Leaving the area, he wonders why Lord Gradosa even ordered him to eliminate Fang. Fang looks like zero trouble. He asks him what number he is, which many others already know. He is skating on thin ice right now, and he is completely correct. Behind him, a massive scythe of darkness ignites. Fang has arrived. With his dark executioner looming close, he asks Hiro the exact same question. Pointing a single finger, Hiro confidently answers one, and Fang just smiles. This is the perfect chance Fang has to show him no mercy. Fang strikes Hiro with a fist packed with raw nature energy. Done tolerating this foolish trash, Fang sends Hiro crashing into the next room, where he struggles up. Asking how on earth he got in, Fang simply smiles, demanding to know if he caused the disaster in the Shadow Woodland dungeon. Hiro screams at him. How dare he strike him? Darkness begins swirling around Hiro as he unleashes a forbidden demon art, sacrificing his own blood. His body begins to grow massive and surge with power, transforming into a monstrous rogue warrior. Hiro overflows with confidence now that his entire physical form has doubled size. Fang instantly recognizes this forbidden blood demon art, confirming he is a hostile spy. Hiro just laughs, boasting he is actually a devout believer of Gradosa. Fang raises an eyebrow, wondering if this guy serves the 7th demon king. Hiro screams at Fang to never speak his lord's name in vain, reaching out to crush him, but the dark executioner blocks the lethal blow. With her massive scythe, they clash head-on, but Hiro's dark energy is too corrosive for her. Her weapon begins to melt, forcing Fang to think of a brand new strategy. Staring down the shadow summon, the crazed cultist roars, trying to crush them both. How dare they stand against him, basically begging for death. Fang narrows his eyes, completely unimpressed. Not only is this giant naked, but he is talking massive trash. Seriously, talk about awkward. Him off guard and end this fast. Fang decides to summon his entire shadow unit. Hiro is shocked to see he possesses necromancy abilities. It seems Tuka was right, and his sacrifice was not in vain. They have finally lured out a human genius. Black Eagle grabs his staff, plunging it directly into Hiro's body. Fang then demands to know if he killed Tuka. Refusing to answer, Hiro begins a bloody summoning ritual instead. Using his own life force, he begs his lord to descend upon his physical vessel. The ground vibrates violently as reality itself cracks apart. He welcomes Gradosa. A massive, multi-armed demon king emerges directly from the swirling shadows. Instead of thanking his loyal follower, the demon brutally punches Hiro's face, sending him flying. Fang orders his squad to attack, and Black Eagle strikes with a powerful wave of dark energy. Gradosa is surprised the necromancer is still active. He assumes the previous master was slain because the current summons are incredibly weak, unable to sustain a proper defensive formation. He concludes that Fang is just a newbie, then glares back at Hiro. Grabbing him, he drains his life, causing Hiro to shrink completely. With a raspy breath, the dying cultist begs his lord to stop, but the demon Gradosa casually tosses him aside like trash, ready to face the new necromancer's successor. Fang quietly wonders if he should deploy his entire army. Facing the demon king head-on is basically a suicide mission at this point. Fang spots Hiro's dried-up body and the glowing magical circle floating right above. An idea hits him. To buy time, he baits the towering demon lord. He proudly introduces himself as the new necromancer, asking if the king dares fight With a smirk, he orders his shadow beasts to move in for the strike. Gradosa finds the provocation hilarious and responds by unleashing a devastating flurry of slashes. The executioner blocks the relentless swings easily with his staff. Yui conjures protective water bubbles, but Gradosa's dark energy whip still tears right through. Most of Fang's undead army instantly crumbles into harmless piles of gray dust. The Demon King demands last words, mocking him as a weak, pathetic excuse for a successor. But get this, instead of begging, Fang just grins back. He laughs. The Demon Lord is the one missing the bigger picture. See, Fang realized why Gradosa kept Hero alive instead of just killing him outright. Hero serves as the anchor for this entire summoning, keeping the portal open. The second Hero dies, the spell crumbles, and the Demon King is forced back. Gradosa dissolves into thin air just as the Magic Bureau forces suddenly show up. While the soldiers scramble, Fang slips into the shadows and makes his escape. He's bone dry, but somehow he barely scraped by with his life. If that final desperate gamble had failed, he would have been nothing but a memory. Just as he reaches his farm, a ruthless assassin blocks his path. The killer is visibly annoyed about having his previous target changed just to hunt down Fang. He warns Fang to put up a decent fight before trying to raise his summons. Fang tries to call on his dead, but his body is completely drained of mana. Panic sets in as the assassin suddenly charges forward at blinding speed. He freezes. For the first time ever, Fang feels genuine terror. Blade outstretched, the attacker unleashes a rapid sequence of deadly strikes. Realizing how bad this situation is, Fang desperately needs his magic relic. Yui still has the Lamp of Bones and he needs to reach her. If he can just lay his hands on that artifact, he might flip this fight completely. There is zero time. Fang backpedals fast as a massive guardian suddenly emerges. This stunning, shadowy figure rises, pulsing with the exact dual energies Fang wields. The assassin swings hard, but Fang barely rolls out of the way. Suddenly, thick, thorny vines erupt from the soil and thrash toward the killer. The wooden roots try to bind his limbs, leaving even Fang completely stunned. A dense wall of vegetation wraps around Fang, forming a makeshift shield. The assassin laughs it off, calling the move nothing but a cheap trick. Channeling fire magic, the master swordsman prepares to burn through the barrier. Nothing, his strike barely leaves a scratch on the thick wood. But with a bit of effort, the heavy blade cuts clean through. Fang is already booking it, running as fast as his legs can carry him. The assassin pursues, recalling his master's strict orders to drop everything and chase him. Fang's target was changed on a dime because the local noble is in their pocket. If they fail to execute him now, he will definitely bring back massive reinforcements. Lord Doza demanded absolute, unquestioning obedience from his killer to get the job done. All the assassin has to do is follow the magical tracker to catch Fang. Having accepted the silver medallion, the assassin starts moving without a moment's delay. He struggles to force his way through a massive, dense wall of blocking vines. He wonders where they are coming from just as a massive explosion rocks the farm. Cursing the necromancer as a traitor, he knows escaping him is no easy task. He leaps through the dense network, dodging every projectile vine thrown his way. Step by step, he finally closes the gap between himself and Fang. He tackles Furbang to the dirt, whispering that the game is finally over. But Furbang only smiles, already clutching the glowing bone lamp tightly in his hand. Strangely, his dark undead aura fails to activate this bone lamp as seconds tick away. Every second counts, so he desperately tries to ignite it until it suddenly flares. The lamp glows with eerie green energy, and he commands it to answer his call. Instantly, a massive shockwave ripples across the farm as the earth begins to split. Gnarled, giant trees erupt from the ground, wrapping directly around the stunned assassin. Trapped in place, the assassin snarls at him to stop with these cheap tricks. Completely unimpressed, he slices through the vines and activates his trump card. Unleashing the Medallion of Gratosa, he invokes the powerful Shadow Devour skill. The surrounding plants quickly wither as he manifests multiple dark clones of himself. Yet Fang is not finished. The wild nature energy around him only intensifies. Suddenly, a black eagle descends from above, not as a shadow but as a man. He is a 6-foot, lean killing machine wrapped in vines who blocks the attack. He deflects the strike, blasting him back. Looks like our boy successfully achieved hybridization. The assassin screams, "How is the necromancer still alive?" But Fang remains cold, simply ordering the Black Eagle to finish him off. As the Black Eagle lunges, the desperate assassin tries to plead for his life. He pleads that they were allies, but the Black Eagle has no mercy. He puts an end to his pathetic life with a single merciless blow. As the demonic energy fades, the wild nature magic begins to overflow. Fang cannot hold on any longer and collapses from the sheer exhaustion of summoning. With a deep sigh, the Black Eagle recedes into a simple shadow before vanishing. Meanwhile, far away, an elite procession of knights escorts a grand carriage. Inside, two powerful noblemen stare each other down in absolute silence. Suddenly, they both sense it, a massive, refreshing surge of natural magic. The redhead sits up, wondering what on earth could be happening. Drawn by the intense magic, the other academy instructors rush toward the source. They find Fang, completely amazed by the sheer purity of the magic radiating from him. None of them expected a hidden nature powerhouse to be resting in this place. Some even feel jealous, knowing this purity would guarantee them a dean position. Looking at the shattered battlefield, it is clear a brutal struggle took place. Yet there lies Fang, snoring soundly with the lamp of nature glowing nearby. King Arthur Vanabi approaches, his eyes locked onto the glowing legendary artifact. Realizing the boy is suffering a severe backlash, he moves to help him. The old man begins channeling pure natural energy straight into his heart. Meanwhile, deep inside his own mental space, Fang faces a dark presence. Tendrils of pitch-black darkness wrap around him as he struggles to break free. Then a familiar glow appears, his own natural power resisting this foreign corruption. Dark hands lash out, pinning him down. That is the necromancer's energy working. He struggles to swing away, but it is useless against this raging dark magic. Right before him, a shadowy orb slowly shapes into the deceased necromancer. Fang demands to know why Xiao is alive. The monster only smirks in response. Because of Fang, he comprehended death itself, and now he lunges forward. Fang is in serious trouble. At this rate, he will lose his entire body. He cannot lose his body to this cheap clone, but he cannot break free. Xiao wants to crush Fang and steal his flesh to be reborn into the world. But right on cue, a sudden burst of nature energy intercepts the attack. The heavy energy whips the monster down, making him glare in anger. He snarls, wondering who could possibly be interrupting his feast. It is the power of the nature system. Both massive energies clash violently. Fang finally wakes up. That was way too close. He would have been a mindless puppet. Luckily, his previous battle drained that dark energy. Bull simply did not have enough strength left to resist and had to back off. But having that terrifying creep still hiding in his head is alarming. Opening his eyes, he sees academy instructors fussing over his medical charts. He is incredibly weak from overusing mana, and his organs are practically failing. But hey, nothing fatal. Meanwhile, the scouts inspect the battlefield. They realize a high-level demon was definitely trading blows with Fang. We are talking at least level 20 here. Fang looks at the crowd surrounding him. Honestly, they look like they are attending his funeral instead of celebrating. Fang sits up fast, completely on edge, wondering who these strangers are. A blonde knight tells him to relax, marveling at his pure nature mana. This has to be the son of nature Vea talked about. Then he spots something. He notices Fang's student card and realizes he goes to the Sun Academy. The man introduces himself as a senior academy instructor. Fang bows respectfully. Just then, a group of knights approaches Master Seymour. Seymour tells them a demon invaded, but this brave kid put it down. The lead knight is stunned, calling Fang a true hero for his actions. He looks down at the shattered sword, wondering if the beast is truly dead. Seymour asks what is wrong and if they found something. The Count has been defending the front lines against these vile creatures. He is deeply frustrated that a high-level demon managed to slip past them. Seymour reassures him they will double the patrols around the academy immediately. He asks the Count to bring Fang over for a proper explanation. Shortly after, Fang and Seymour arrive at the principal's office. The principal already knows about the massive breach in the school defenses. He calmly claims everything is under control and more patrols are being sent. But Seymour has no time for excuses and grabs the man by his collar. The principal is acting like a fool if he thinks 3 teams will fix this. Seymour violently shakes the old man, demanding real answers right now. Finally, a principal who has to face actual accountability. Fang is so deeply embarrassed that he just covers his eyes in shame. The flustered principal begs Seymour to remember they have a student watching. He tells the principal to rethink his choices. The academy expects them to fend for themselves while demons actively hunt them down. Is he seriously trying to gloss this over? The principal praises Fang for his quick work in taking down a demon completely solo. He suspects someone was trying to sabotage the academy, so he decides to reward him with a rare heroic spirit shard. Fang stares at the glowing piece, wondering what it actually does. Is it really any better than a common pebble? The principal explains this artifact holds the soul of an ancient warrior. If he merges the other piece he found back inside that dungeon, he can actually wake a legendary hero to fight by his side. Most importantly, these projections have zero restrictions. The next time he finds himself in a tight spot where his mana is completely drained, this card is his ultimate ace. Fang pulls the shards right out of his hoodie and merges them. Green energy floods the office as a legendary hero manifests. A man straight from the spirit realm appears in a green toga. He kneels right before Fang, introducing himself as General Yu, greeting his master with absolute respect. Both the principal and Seymour have absolutely no idea who he is. This heroic spirit is not recorded in any history. Our boy's luck is so absurdly broken that he just summoned an undocumented legend. Fang dismisses the spirit, offers a quick respectful bow, and takes his leave. Seymour tells the principal they must recruit this boy immediately. The sheer purity of his nature magic is far too powerful. He has never seen anything like this in his entire life. With some training, he will likely become the greatest nature user in history. The principal reminds Seymour to let the boy choose for himself and stop obsessing over raw magical potential. Fang, meanwhile, is heading out feeling incredibly frustrated by his own limits. Against truly elite enemies, he only has a couple of moves, and his stamina is basically worse than a wet paper bag. He decides to lock in and boost his power as fast as possible, or else he will never farm in peace. If you recall, the Academy Mission Hall offers some high-tier skill scrolls as rewards. And that is exactly where he is heading. These quests are ranked from D to A grade. Considering his current level, he initially looks at C and D ranked jobs, but they are just too low. The first task is to hunt a pack of shadow wolves to get a B-ranked nature scroll. Another choice is to explore dangerous ancient ruins, which offers a random A-grade skill reward. The third is a trip to Iron Rock Town for a universal B-ranked technique. But it strictly requires a two-man squad. One must use fire. That is what Fang decides to lock in. He also wonders about that military town, having heard that many troops are stationed there, utilizing a very unique garrison farming method. It lets them grow crops and herbs even in dry wasteland. Fang smiles, absolutely determined to learn this technique. The only issue is finding a partner to clear the mission. Since he always works alone, he needs a fire user. But as if the heavens heard his plea, the perfect candidate suddenly appears. Fang spots Ling, who is currently locked in an argument with a local girl. She accuses her of selling fake potions, while the merchant girl aggressively reminds Ling that she already accepted the potion and is now trying to hustle her. A crowd gathers around, eager to see a catfight break out. This is the third time this month that the recruits have clashed. An angry Ling demands her demon bear gall back. The blonde scammer, however, refuses. After all, she already turned it into a potion and handed it to Ling. Since she drank it, it is gone. Ling hates that answer and summons her shadow blades. The blonde asks if she wants a fight, telling the crowd how unreasonable Ling is. But Fang realizes that the slander is strong with this girl. She claims that Ling hired her to brew an enhancement potion, but now that it is used, she denies everything and stolen her rare materials. Just then, Fang steps in. He moves closer, making the blonde nervous. When she realizes he is from the Sunwill Academy, she quickly complains about Ling being a complete cheat. Fang is not here to argue, using his fingers charged with nature energy to handle this. The blonde really dreads getting blasted by this crazy nature freak, but instead of striking her, he slices open her bag. The demon bear gall falls out. Everyone realizes she is a complete fraud. Angrily yapping, she curses Ling for hiding behind a senior from the Sunwill Academy, swearing vengeance. Next time, but before she can flee, Fang grabs her arm and demands. The demon bear gall back before handing it over to Ling. She admits that she had been holding onto it for him, but since he refused to take it, she wanted to brew a potion to strengthen herself, but Fang reminds her that he gifted it to her for a reason. She can use it however she wants because he has no use for it. Gratefully thanking him, Ling listens as Fang asks her to help find a fire attribute mage. Then he smoothly points out that she fits the bill perfectly, inviting her to join. Ling was secretly hoping for this. Instantly agreeing with a bright smile, he smiles in satisfaction. Later, they sign up for a mission and receive their scroll. Meanwhile, back at the Count's mansion, the Iron Lion kneels before a shadowy demon, reporting that both Hiro and Tuka are dead. The Academy has tightly suppressed the news, making it impossible to identify the killer. The shadow, swirling a cup of wine, simply asks what this has to do with him. The furious Count reminds him of their ancient pact, promising massive rewards for feeding intel from the front lines, transforming humans into demons and masking their invasion. Yet now, the shadow refuses to support him, leaving him completely abandoned in this mess. He has been demoted to Count, losing his vast military power. Having his movements restricted, he cannot even protect his own nephews at this point. So where is the great aid he was promised 3,000 years ago? The demon coldly reminds him that despite being chosen, the war zone is highly unpredictable. Their forces have taken massive losses, but he cannot blame the deaths of his nephews on the shadow. That was purely their own incompetence. If they had simply stuck to the plan, they would still be alive. He then tells the Iron Lion that Lord Gradiosa demands results, not pathetic excuses. The Count grits his teeth in rage. Ever since he aided their invasion on the front lines, the old man has kept his eyes locked on him. How can he assist them further? The shadowy figure tells the Count to cut the chatter and get to work. That group from the nature system cannot save the Iron Lion. Relying on natural power is useless. In fact, it will only make him die faster. He can never remove the curse. They already have Iron Rock Town completely cornered. He just needs to move the garrison away when the time comes. As the phantom fades, the Iron Lion curses his helplessness. Being so weak, it remains a mystery why the Iron Lion and his nephews keep working, even though they are terrible bosses. Moving on, Fang and Ling begin their long journey toward the military outpost, but as they are traveling through a thick, incredibly dense and overgrown forest on their way to the outpost, a massive, terrifying wolf suddenly creeps up out of the shadows right behind them. Ling instantly springs into action, using her baton to beat the beast down. She defeats the beast, but something feels off. This is already their third attack in an hour, way too many. Fang jokingly wonders if the wolves are just after the curves she is flashing in that tiny skirt. Iron Rock Town is highly strategic, with plenty of patrols guarding the area. Under normal circumstances, these main trade roads should be completely secured and free of danger. There shouldn't be any wild beasts or demonic wolves running around here. Ling points out that since they entered the mountains, they have faced 3 separate attacks. This is totally abnormal. Fang crouches down, using his natural energy to commune with the plants around them. Classic main character power. But try talking to a shrub in real life, you will just look crazy. He tells Ling that the local flora knows absolutely nothing, but they still need to hurry up and reach the edge of town before dark. With that, they take off flying toward the town at absolute breakneck speed. They finally reach the outer gates. But something is deeply wrong here, yet Fang only has one thing on his mind: the ancient farming technique he came all this way to learn. Ling tells him to focus. This place is far too quiet for a military outpost. There is not a soul in sight. The two run through the town and spot a soldier resting against a pillar. But when Fang gently taps his shoulder, he realizes the horrific truth. He is already dead. Corpses litter the streets. What happened to the entire garrison? That was supposed to be 3,000 strong. Ling gasps in horror, spotting demons hovering over a platform, drawing a pentagram to perform a ritual. She urges him to stop them before something terrible happens. She offers to draw them away while he smashes the altar. But Fang warns her they are all level 35 demons. How can she lure them? She just smiles confidently, suggesting she can easily use her charms as bait. But before she can act, a volley of deadly energy beams rains down on them. Fang leaps forward, pulling his damsel in distress close to his chest to protect her. Someone is clearly out for blood. A massive, muscular demon suddenly blocks their path. With a skull face, he tells them running is useless. Another beam fires straight at Ling. Fang manages to swoop in and rescue her just in time once again. But after a chaotic series of evasions, the entire battlefield is completely leveled. Vina looks at her blade, it is barely forming. Fang also tries using his natural energy, but it is not nearly as potent. He wonders why they cannot use mana. It is as if the formation is suppressing them. He cannot even summon his heroic. The area is locked down by an anti-magic formation. Only demonic energy works here. As the skeletal demons rush forward, the duo wonders how to survive this. Fang knows his necromancy still works, but he cannot expose it in front of Ling. She selflessly offers to stay behind and hold them off while he escapes. He is supposed to get help, but Fang just raises an eyebrow. Seriously, is she crazy? She is basically as useless as Sakura here. Still, she insists she must buy him time to find backup. Crossing her twin blades, she prepares to fight the horde or die trying. Too slow, Fang knocks her out with a single nature slap. She goes down like a sack of potatoes, leaving the demons utterly confused. They wonder if he is selling out his ally to save himself. Shameless cowards, that is what they call humans. Fang does not care, he just needs her safe before using his skills. The monsters mock him, laughing loudly until he pulls out the lamp of nature. Instantly, the monsters tense up, shouting at him to drop the artifact. The demons warn him it will break him. Oh, but trust me, they are not ready for this. Our boy is about to transform the holy relic into a dark beacon. The relic morphs into a bone lantern, radiating a sinister purple energy. Smirking, he grips the lantern of death and summons Spirit Mommy. Without hesitation, she unleashes a brutal barrage of energy strikes. A skeleton completely panics, screaming about how undead can exist here. Fang just smiles, the hunt is on and his massive squad starts pulling up. The enemy horde looks ready to wet themselves in pure terror. Some try to block them, the executioner chops them to pieces. Raising more and more undead, the summoner leaves them in absolute shock. How is he completely unaffected by their anti-magic field? Their boss steps up, calling Fang nothing more than a paperclip. He orders his minions to hold them while he handles the summoner. Rusty weapons in hand, the skeleton squad charges forward. With shadows versus bones, the hulking leader calls Fang troublesome. Once the summoner dies, he claims the shadows will vanish. Calling him a stupid human, the boss keeps barking. Fang is done talking. Lunging forward, the demon gathers dark energy in his fist. Fang does not blink, he wraps green energy around his fist. Meeting the attack head-on, he trades brutal blows with the monster. Our boy mocks the beast, saying his fists carry 20 years of power. Is this demon really sure he can block a hit like that? Purple and green energies collide as the battle erupts. Team Skeleton is losing bad, the shadows stand completely unfazed. The leader is forced to his knees, wondering who this kid is. Who is this guy clearing out Iron Town all by himself? Fang demands to know who the demon is and who ordered this. Spitting venom, the demon claims that once Lord Grotto arrives, humans are finished. Bragging they will be protein bars, hearing that name makes Fang snap. Turning to his executioner, he coldly commands her to end him. Get every detail out of this demon, but she only smiles. She conjures an energy whip. Fang just smirks, knowing their play. He wants the location of their accomplices, every single dirty detail. She flashes a sweet smile. Instantly, her whips lash at the muscular demon. He writhes, a dark starburst swallows him, burning him to ash. Only ash remains. Fang slowly turns, stepping away from the smoke. He steps through the smoldering ruins of the fort. Fang slowly makes his way over to Ling to check on her. After confirming she is still breathing, he immediately turns his attention elsewhere. A lilac flame burns inside a strange energy pentagram nearby. The core at the center cracks, aggressively repelling the local mana. It is almost drained of mana. That is when Fang notices something. This is the source of the anti-magic field. He gently touches it. Boom, the orb goes completely berserk as the darkness swells. Physical strength won't work here, he needs another option. Calling upon his summoned undead, Ron quickly steps forward to help. Fang tells his summon to smash the core. For a second, Ron looks crazy. Ron clutches his head, but he is just condensing massive energy. A single brutal punch sends deep fractures webbing across the entire shard. Fang smiles in satisfaction. No living auras remain nearby. The minor undead are scattering. Time to check on Ling. Aside from some bruising and flesh wounds, she is fine. Then, the giant executioner creeps up with literal puppy dog eyes. Fang sighs, what does he want? Suddenly, a warmth hits his chest. His shirt starts radiating high heat, glowing like a miniature arc reactor. It is actually his grimoire, reacting strongly to something in the area. The pages flip rapidly on their own. A blood-red pentagram blazes across them. Natural energy lashes at the book. Why is it activating? What is going on here? Our main guy is completely baffled by this. Still in Iron Rock Town, he looks at the book glowing with green light. The surrounding mana is slowly returning, but this automatic activation is weird. Quietly, he tucks the grimoire out of sight. He hides it away faster than a recruiter tossing a useless resume. Suddenly, massive waves of demonic energy surge from the streets below. He takes off into the sky, ready to give these demons a piece of his mind. Walking through the ruins, the town looks like a literal war zone. The guy throws on a cool black cloak just to look dramatic before the fight. A massive demonic warrior chases down a terrified mother and her child. As the kid trips, the mother draws her sword in defense. It is useless. She gets brutally slashed while shielding her daughter. With the little girl crying, the giant demon prepares to end her life. But right on cue, our main man makes his spectacular entrance. His cloak billows as he stops the giant blade with one hand. Absolutely no expression, a total masterclass in looking cool. Summoning Black Eagle, he is ready to show this demon real fear. With that done, his undead sweep the town for demonic trash. The little girl tells Fang that plenty of survivors are trapped nearby and they need his help. He pats the little girl on the head, promising to go rescue them right away. He vanishes into a column of rising darkness, arriving in Riverside Town's central square. A demonic gladiator stands menacingly before a platoon of broken men. He demands they hand over the item, promising they might get a chance to serve. His demonic lord, one knight, refuses to yield just as a skeleton rushes toward the gladiator with terrible news. A figure in a black robe is charging in. Wiping out their entire force with a group of undead, the gladiator tells the warrior it is just a panicking necromancer they should not worry about. They just need to keep watch since Fang is already arriving in full force. His undead warriors are already burning enemy skeletons to the ground. Black Eagle clashes directly with the skeleton gladiator, quickly gaining the upper hand. Before crushing his core to send him flying, while Fang stands there looking unbothered between his two massive summons, the surviving skeletons try to flee. In terror, honestly, Fang is relieved. His mana is completely tapped out. Seriously, he looks around, wishing he had a juicy banana to recover his energy. Now all the survivors who once knelt before that skeleton gladiator turn to kneel before him instead. One of them asks if he is a necromancer, and Fang realizes it is way too late to play dumb, though admitting it out loud will only terrify them more, so he tries to deflect the question by asking if they would even believe him if he denied it. One knight warns their leader that the Empire has a strict order to kill any necromancers they come across. Fang quickly reminds this ungrateful man that he just saved their lives. If he were an enemy, they would all be dead already. Only a few survivors remain, and one tries to start a fight, but the leader stops him. He thanks Fang for the timely rescue and tells him to follow. He leads Fang to a strange pillar, unsure of its origin, but admitting the demons are after it for some reason. Fang inspects it closely, while the leader explains it is a special anti-demon divine artifact built by their engineer, designed to keep demons at bay. Wait, it is gone. The leader panics, wondering where on Earth it is. Fang immediately checks if illusion magic is masking the pillar. But it is definitely real. The item is gone and the warriors begin to rot and steam. The surviving troops crowd together, wondering what on earth is happening. And just when you think they might survive, a terrifying presence arrives right in front of Fang. He watches massive columns of green energy shoot toward the sky, transforming into a violent storm of pure darkness. Even Fang struggles to withstand this terrifying undead pressure. A warrior screams that he recognizes this dark ritual. It means Radosa is rising. Right on cue, a massive skeletal figure steps out of the gloom. The power is still incomplete, but it will suffice. A man with silver hair and tan skin emerges from the shadows, rapidly morphing into a demonic form until he looks like a terrifying demon lord. He starts laughing, calling Fang a damned bug and preparing to squish him once and for all.